I would like to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is not Tuesday Night Titans. This is not This Week in Wrestling. This is not even Tuesday Night in Texas. It's 2DopeMarks on a Tuesday due to, scheduling conflicts. You know how that goes. Whenever we have something that's a little off the kilter, a little real life situation that happens, we come to you a little live. And this week we're coming with an emergency podcast. As always, you know what this is. 2DopeMarks is basically, two friends, two lifelong commentators, two lifelong lovers of pro wrestling who talk to you like the countrified version, the little down south, up north version of Jim Ross and Paulie Dangerously. That is D to my left, up there making sure that people is live and watching us on living color. I'm Brando. And yeah, man. As always, you can find us on Twitter at 2DopeMarks, on Instagram at 2DopeMarks. Go to, comment, like, rate us, review us, subscribe to the pod on YouTube. Wherever you get your podcast, sign up, kick it, all that. Because, hey, man, it is a live show. It's a live show. Interact with us. Come kick it, come laugh. Buy the merch. Link is in our bio for all information pertaining to upwards and onwards and that sort of thing. And typically I would tell you it's a lot of shit happening in pro wrestling this week, D, but a lot of shit happened Sunday. So if you watched this last Thursday, you listened to us last Friday, we inducted one Ron R-Truth Killings as the official inaugural inductee into the 2DopeMarks Hall of Fame, only to see him tweet on Sunday.
Got that man fired. God damn it.
That WWE had released him per Son Ross Slap of Fightful. They come to find out that WWE was not renewing Ron's contract. And when I tell you, I ain't never seen somebody get released and it feel like somebody died in such a long time. Like, this one felt bad. This one somewhat felt like when Bray got released in 2020. This is what it felt like, except this one felt a little worse because we literally just saw the man on Friday on SmackDown with JC Mateo. And the issue there was like he literally had one of the funniest situations. One more time before he went out the door, caught the whole New Judgment Day big boned. Caught that man, Cal, beat your husky son. And that had me screaming, laughing. Because again, we said this back in the gap, man. We said this last week.
R-Truth, the day off.
R-Truth for 17 years, man. 17 years had a job at the WWE. And this is after being released the first go round and then rebuilt himself up after being in the NWA, winning their heavyweight championship twice, winning their tag titles, and then carve out a niche to where he could play both evil, good, plucky babyface, to arguably one of the few people who understood sports entertainment just as much as he understood wrestling. Like, we could go through countless segments and situations where Ron Killing sold the show. Like,
that motherfucker was funny as shit.
Like, him engaging with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, it's a classic.
When Lesnar was basically defending the WWE Championship inside the
Royal Rumble.
Inside the Rumble, yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm gonna toss you out the Rumble. Paul Heyman's like, I'm not in the Rumble. You're facing Brock Lesnar. He's like, oh, in this case, I am undeclaring for the Rumble. That's my bad. That's my bad.
Go on YouTube and watch how many times their videos devoted to R-Truth breaking everybody. That shit's just hilarious. But on a serious note, like, he been a fun let's say since Mania in Philly, WrestleMania 40. Prior to that, Ron been on it. Like, for real. Like, if you look at like the respect he has in the locker room with everything, like, everybody speaks highly of him. And then you know, him win the tag team titles at WrestleMania 40, which was a good moment for everybody because he finally got a title. Even before that, when he's he's the 57th time,
54, yeah.
54 time 24/7 champion. And then also just watch the work he did with the New Day. I mean, not the New Day, but the Judgment Day.
There's a lot.
Yeah,
there is a lot.
There's a lot, and he has a lot of he's done a lot more with less than people have done with more. And he made the best out of everything. And if you go back to different things, you go back to his documentary that came out not too long ago. Even Vince McMahon spoke highly of him. You know, he's the only person to make Vince just bust out laughing at any given moment. So, hey, respect to that man.
Yeah, and for the record, and a whole bunch of people questioning and basically saying, "Hey, this wouldn't have happened under Vince." It didn't matter what it was in terms of WWE and releases. Like favors got released, it happened, right? The fact that Ron Killings got 17 years consistently at one job in one company is a miracle in itself, right? Like, I don't want to say it's politics. I don't want to say it's schism. I don't want to say none of that. I want to say that whatever direction TKO is going in right now is a lot of like, hey, whatever comic relief is necessary, they're like, nah, we don't want that no more. Because we've come to find out a few hours later, Carlito says his contract is not getting renewed. And
that man was eating apples in the background.
Yeah. Yeah. And even though he wasn't doing a whole lot of, shall we say, wrestling per se, he was still an intricate member of, you know, the roster. Absolutely. Like, he helped carry the story. And for those who are like new to Carlito or like, oh, when I say name, when was Carlito like super hot? Like, Carlito, his first run in WWE was a top flight heel, top flight mid-card champion, whether it be United States or Intercontinental champion. His feud with John Cena for the US title pretty much put John Cena in that, okay, I believe him as a babyface sort of run, right? The man introduced the backstabber to North American TV audiences.
Yeah, everybody doing that shit now.
Yeah. Shout out Liv Morgan.
Shout out Mercedes Moné.
Exactly. Into the bank statement. Yes. So in a lot of ways, you know, both these releases are, again, they suck. Not even gonna hold you. But in totality, it's the nature of the business, man. It's very much so the nature of the business. I don't like it half the damn time when that happens. I also think that if you think about it, R-Truth kind of got his actual proper send-off at Saturday Night's Main Event.
True.
Facing John Cena in full-blown Cena regalia.
Ron Cena. Who would have thought it was the last time for Ron Cena? Who would have thought? Wow.
You're right. It's the last time for Ron Cena. Last time for Ron Cena. And the funny part about it is that shirt, brother. That
I needs that.
Last time is now shirt. Like, again, that became a collector's item. That became a collector's item in a way that I wish like I could have bought it like sooner, because you can't even buy it on WWEshop.com no more.
Yeah, that's ass.
Yeah, that is not necessarily the most funny thing in the world. It just sucks. It just absolutely sucks.
How about the crowd chanting last night, "We want truth"?
Not shocked by it. I'm not shocked by it at all. CM Punk,
bring that man back. Bring that man back.
CM Punk kind of alluded to it a bit after the show went off the air, saying, you know, how dare you chant for somebody who isn't here? Like just kind of trolling in a bit. But no, I think for all intents and purposes, Ron Killings literally gave himself to the business. He almost lost his leg to this business. Yeah. Right? And you see from every single person in the locker room who had something to say about truth, whether it be Miz, Carmelo, Jega Fatu, Chelsea Green. Basically, that man was a pro's pro. Like he didn't
Absolutely.
mind being, the guy. He didn't complain. He took what he was given and made magic out of it every single time. The man literally made a title that was literally a joke into must-see TV.
If my kids say they want to be a wrestler, I want them to be like R-Truth.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the great thing about Truth, even from a non-wrestling standpoint, right, is that we were at Wally Mania last year. And nobody knew Truth was going to hop on the stage and rap. But Truth hopped on that stage and he rapped. And everybody in that crowd was rapping along with him, giving him his props.
Absolutely.
And then after Wally Mania was over and the let out happened, people literally just started just walking out of the event. And there's Truth. Taking pictures, dapping people
just
up.
Chilling.
Just big chilling.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's Truth's nature, man. Also Valhalla, when the Viking Raiders were still the Viking Raiders, Michael Cole had a very fun interplay with her, and ironically she is kind of tied to a memorable R-Truth moment when he entered the women's Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And
came in on her spot. Yeah.
Yes. Truth is also the man who, speaking of Valhalla, she also sadly was informed of her being released, but that's also a situation where the gimmick whom you were kind of attached to, they're no longer that gimmick anymore. And you haven't been on TV since sadly you were, you and your husband had a child.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with Carmella, right? Yeah. And she had some
Isn't
help.
she pregnant again?
Yes, she is. There was some
complications.
There was some complications with that the first go around, but it's unlike say WNBA or things like that. People don't necessarily come back immediately after having kids. See Becky Lynch, right? So yeah, no, that's another one of those things. And then you see also that Nick Khan sold about $4 million worth of stock today.
Yeah, I saw that.
Reportedly.
I just saw that.
So yeah, so a lot of things are happening in terms of personnel and movers and shakers and things like that. But for R-Truth and Carlito and Valhalla, we say thank you. We appreciate what you've given us on our TV screens for the last 2 decades. And we hope you do well in your future endeavors. Now,
bring Truth back.
Yes, we want Truth. It's probably going to be the next CM Punk chant for a good little period of time until people get tired of it. But
let me induct him in the Hall of Fame.
I think Miz is probably going to induct him in the Hall of Fame. But yeah,
I think I do a better job.
I think you would too. Speaking of future endeavors, we gotta say this. Tribalism isn't for biz players. I.e., tribalism is not for you or I, Joe Schmo, on the internet, just yapping, right? If you are actually a part of that company, saying you got the best wrestlers, and you are working that company every single day in, day out, go for it. Absolutely. Perfectly makes sense. It's perfectly fine. But just because you like one company over the other, nah, that it don't work like that. Just because somebody gets released and you immediately just jump, ooh, they would be good in AEW. Ooh, they'd be good in TNA. Brother, sisters, do you hear yourselves? These people just lost jobs. It ain't even like really sat in that they lost their jobs, right? There's also speculation that Mariah May is coming over to the WWE, right? And I saw people online in the IWC, the lame factory that is, shitting on Mariah May just because she got up, got her career in front of network TV on a consistent basis in AEW, had arguably the best women's feud that company's ever had with Toni Storm, and was like, okay, I think I've hit a peak here. I want to go see what it is over there. It's no different from Jade Cargill 2 years ago.
Yeah, to be honest, it's three types of wrestling fans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the smart ones, the ones who read between the lines, who have grown up watching this, that have some type of indication and actually pay attention to that. Wrestling is wrestling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then there are the casuals, the ones that tune in for the SummerSlams, the when Logan Paul shows up, WrestleMania, shit like that.
Yeah, definitely Big Four energy. Big Four energy. Yeah,
and
Big
then
Five, because they'll be there for Money in the Bank Saturday.
Right. So then there's the third one, which you just described. There are the musty ones that live in their grandfather's basement, that are living off of their grandmother's Social Security check and spending more time on Twitter or TikTok or whatever talking about shit that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Here's the thing. You're allowed to like what you like, but just like with opinions, everyone has one. You can say what you want to say, this, that, and the other, but these people are human beings just like us. They lose their job. It's just like if your uncle lost his job. Feel bad for him. Have some sort of empathy for him or whatnot. But at the same time, just because you're a diehard wrestling fan in the IWC doesn't make you a gatekeeper because you like AEW the most. John Moxley bleeds. Woohoo. Or you like WWE and you want to be at every WrestleMania show, sit front row, this, that, and that. Who cares? Wrestling is at the highest point that it is right now, and everybody's enjoyed. We actually have multiple companies to watch, to enjoy, and now it's a situation where that forbidden door is opening for a lot of things we have never seen in our childhood ever. Just enjoy wrestling for what the fuck it is, and shut the fuck up and wash your ass. Shut up.
And your underarms. Does not.
Yeah. Because I want to see your fat ass jump off the daggone top rope and do a frog splash. Hell no.
See, and that is why I'm glad that they're having a slight pros versus Joes situation at Fanatics this year.
Yes.
Like, I want people who think they know wrestling, who do their best to critique and offer their ratings and things of that nature and demean wrestlers, namely female wrestlers. I want you to hop in the ring. I want you to take a chop.
I want them to stand next to me and demean a female wrestler and see what the fuck I say.
Like, that's what I want. I want people who think they know stuff about these things to be like, yeah, nah. Jump in, take a jump, take a bump. But
I ain't taking shit. I know better.
Yeah, exactly. Common sense tells you, hey, bro, sometimes you just gotta sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up.
Listen, I'm still struggling from injuries from football and basketball 20 years ago. The fuck?
Exactly. It's not a game. It's not a game.
Not at all.
So I think I want just people to have just a general concept like, yo, brother, it ain't really what you want to do. Like, I get being a fan of something, because again, we are fans of football teams. We're fans of basketball teams. I know Knicks fans right now who are going through it, not knowing if it's a good thing or not that Tibbs got fired 3 days after they lost in the Eastern Conference Final.
Tom Thibodeau is the Kyle Shanahan of the NBA.
See, okay, wait. I can't even call him. We talking sports now? Okay, we talking sports now.
Well, we can. Okay. Let's take the banner there.
Tom Thibodeau. I'm not going to call him Kyle Shanahan. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. I am merely going to say that Tibbs has his reasons for playing who he plays, and somehow, some way, having his best two players also not be able to play defense kind of bit him in the ass in this series.
So if you go back, let's do a history lesson for the folks who just got here when it comes to basketball. Tom Thibodeau got his rise because he was the architect of that, and quote me if I'm wrong, B. Is it 2007 or 2008 Boston Celtics? 06. Whatever that last Boston Celtics team prior to this one that won that tag. KG, Paul Pierce.
Oh wait, he was 08. He was 08. He was one of the Rockets' assistant, and then he joined up with Doc Rivers in Boston, and he was a defensive assistant coach for that team that won the title. Yes.
So that's where he got his rise for the most part. Now he gets a job in Chicago, and here comes Derrick Rose out of Memphis. Now, Derrick Rose, I love Derrick Rose. Couldn't stand him when he played against Dwayne Wade, but I love Derrick Rose. But when I seen that man had an MVP season, only to go into a first round game with 1 minute and 32 seconds left against the Sixers, blowing them out by, I don't want to say blowing them out, beating them by 12, 13 points, and he blows his knee out. No, that man was never the same since. And then when he goes to Minnesota, yeah, and he ain't do shit with them either. And now, mind you, I love Jalen Brunson. I do. But the way I literally got Derrick Rose vibes when it came to that, like, I feel like that man would have ran Jalen Brunson into the ground even further if he got another year at coach. And that's how I think about it. Look at that Bulls team. Joakim Noah, no offensive game at all, but he could play defense. Jimmy Butler. You had a two.
Before he was really Jimmy, yeah.
Right. You had a two-way player. He can play ball. He can play offense and defense. Luau Deng. He can shoot a three like a motherfucker and play defense. Wasn't Boozer there too?
He was.
Yeah, that's when he had the little painted shape up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you really had Derrick Rose and a bunch of misfits. Now look at this Knicks team. Not discrediting nobody, but you got Jalen Brunson, right? Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, Cat. I think Cat is probably the only other offensive pretty much option. And then what you had, OG Anunoby. You had literally Jalen Brunson and 3.5 misfits. Basketball is a 5-player sport. The last team, the Boston Celtics, as much as I can't stand the Celtics, they play team basketball. Everybody plays shit. Derek White went off in what I forgot what series he went off last year. It was that first round?
I think it was.
Yeah.
He also went off he went off game 5 in the Knicks series. Yeah.
As much as it pains me, Tatum did him. JB got his finals MVP. It was team basketball. The year before that, the Warriors. Everybody played ball. Jordan Poole had the best season of his life. All I'm saying is this. The reason why the Pacers are in the finals, the reason why OKC's in the finals, because they play team basketball. Tom Thibodeau does not play team basketball. He plays team defense. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. I think the funny thing about the Knicks is that they got somewhere they haven't been since Eminem was considered the hottest rapper in the world.
Wow.
Think about it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And they did it this year, Cinderella type run. I don't know who they go to next. I don't. Because if they go Mike Malone, then they're going with somebody who also does not believe in playing the youth and also kind of had a short bench and kind of got bailed out in some ways because he had the best player in the world on his team as the son for everything.
Yeah, about that. He ain't got the best player on that team. They're gonna have to try to get somebody else. They're gonna have to trade for Giannis or something.
Well,
it's
Kevin
not
Durant's
possible.
out there. Kevin Durant's out there, but
no, Kevin Durant need to come home. Come home, big dog. Come home. Come home. The DMV been missing you, brother. We're missing you. Now you ain't gonna help too much. You ain't gonna help too much in doing shit because we ain't got shit. But
yeah.
But
speaking of coming home, one Bianca Belair came home on Friday to Knoxville, Tennessee. Ironically enough, celebrating her husband's birthday that same weekend. And Naomi decided to pull up and was trying to say, "Hey, man, I've been trying to reach you. I even stopped by your mama house." And
Is this the extended version of
a WWE studio production? This is the braid of our lives.
this? My shit. This is my shit. They brought that shit back like motherfucking BMF coming back on Friday.
Yes, they braid of our lives is back like cook crack, ladies and gentlemen. It's back like cook crack because Naomi was like, "Yo, I put up to the crib. I seen your mama." And
she ain't see the mama. She ain't see the mama. They weren't home.
Oh yeah, that's right. They weren't home. And Bianca parents in the audience like, girl, we ain't know nothing about that. Don't look at us like that.
She looked at the photo albums, dipped in the pimento cheese, got some crackers, watched a little TV, all that.
I thought we was gonna get a full MTV Cribs segment with Naomi running through the spot like a Tomb Raider. But thankfully, no, we didn't get that. But we did get this cold bar from Naomi talking about, look, I want to put you in your wheelchair like your mama is. And I was like, hey, yo.
Them fighting words.
Them is definitely fighting words. And basically, Bianca told Naomi, look, if you thought you putting Jade through a windshield was bad, just think what I'm gonna do to you. And I'm like, if I'm Jade, I'm like, excuse me? Say what?
I mean, Jade did get got. She got.
Jade got. And that's why I'm curious why every single time Jade pull up and look at Bianca, they don't never say no words.
Nah.
They just get that cold, hard stare.
Listen, I'm loving this story.
They're gonna have to yap at each other.
This is our version of the Housewives.
We said this before. We said it again. This is why we coined this feud, this triumvirate between Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. We called it Braid of Our Lives. You can call it, as my friend J.R. Band calls it, Sisters with Suplexes. You can call it whatever you want, but it's the best storyline in wrestling. And I know we're going to get to a potential Jade Bianca match the same way we're going to get to a likely Bianca and Rhea match. But the money in it, the money feud is Bianca versus Naomi.
Yeah. Honestly, I want to see all three.
Oh yeah. There's going to be a Sisters with Suplexes, Braid of Our Lives triple threat.
Man, listen, and when that match happened, I'm gonna have my Braid of Our Lives t-shirt. I'm gonna be ready. Possibly on the 2DopeMarks website.
Oh yeah, no. We're going to have to make the Braid of Our Lives t-shirt is coming.
Yeah, you gotta go. It got
the Braid of Our Lives t-shirt is coming, guys. Yes. That is something that it speaks to all generations. If you see that, you know exactly what we talking about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, Braid of Our Lives is definitely coming through. There wasn't too much else, SmackDown to really just jump into, but we basically get into this, man. It is finally here. Saturday is a long pay-per-view day. Long. If you in Inglewood and you up to no good, you gotta go to the LA Forum first. Let's go check out Worlds Collide. Yeah. And then you got Money in the Bank. Now, Money in the Bank is a 4-match card. 4-match card. We got Laura Valkyria, aka the Bird Lady, versus Becky Lynch for the NXT, not the NXT, good God, the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Threw me off guard, man. Again, the Birdman coup is how we ended up with Pusha T versus Drake, and then later Drake versus Kendrick. See,
hey, shout out to the new Clips album coming out.
Butterfly. There's a whole Butterfly effect, and shout out to the new Clips album coming out July 11th. Yeah. Ace Trumpets is Trey Magnifique. So yeah, we have Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, and what is basically a last chance match for the Intercontinental Championship.
Becky Belay's wedding.
My thing with this is, yes, I feel like Becky's going to win this, because to say that if Becky loses, she can no longer challenge for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, I'm like, who does that do any good for? Right?
Nobody. Because
Nobody.
I think at this point, once Becky wins, it opens the door for a nice young lady from San Jose, California, to return and challenge for that IEC title.
Because dang
Miss
it,
Pam,
yeah, Miss Pam. Because dang it, we getting Miss Pam versus Becky for that belt. Like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Captain. So we both think Becky Lynch is gonna win this because, again, this feud was built around elevating the women's intercontinental title belt
Absolutely.
in a way that a character elevated the women's United States Championship. This time on Raw, you have a feud, and for all intents and purposes, like I've liked this feud. Like La Valkyria has showed her stuff, and I think a lot of times when sometimes you can't prove that you are over via your in-ring work. Sometimes you need somebody to buffer and play off of so you really get your shit off.
You know what? Her in-ring work is good. But what surprised me is her mic work, because now we seen her on the mic. She's saying, I'm gonna beat your ass. Stop me from beating your ass. And I'm gonna beat your ass on Raw every week until the match.
And she lived up to it.
Yeah, she's beating Becky ass.
And she lived up to it, but LA is not her time. There's probably gonna be one more match, but this time with Becky as champion. And I look forward to seeing how that turns out, because again, the money feud that we're gonna get at SummerSlam is Becky versus Bayley. At MetLife for that belt. Don't know if it's gonna be night 1 or night 2, but we're gonna get that for that belt. The other non-Money in the Bank matches involves one world champion, Jey Uso, versus with one Cody Devontae Rhodes as his tag team partner, versus Logan Paul and John Cena, aka Ron Cena's very pale big brother.
Of a brother.
Yeah, aka what we say, Jacob Toretto.
Yeah.
So
Dom's little brother.
Yeah. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I told you this last week, and I say it again, and I'm going to flesh this idea out even more. Jey Uso is Bun B circa 2004. He is Lloyd Banks on any G Unit mixtape. He is. Keep going. He is
Joel Santana.
He is Joel Santana before the solo album dropped. And what I mean by that is, if you put Jey Uso and attach him to anything you got going, everybody gonna care about it now. It is a Jay-Z feature. It is name a rap. Remember when rappers used to go on feature runs and run? Lil Wayne in 2007. That's what Jey Uso is to the WWE right now. I'm not saying in terms of in-ring. I'm saying in terms of the moment that man is shown on TV, everybody's screaming. The moment anybody interacts with him, whether it be Gunther, Jay, as in John Cena, Jay, Logan Paul, Sami Zayn, even when CM Punk mentions him on Raw, when his cousin decides to come back from Night After Mania PTO, Jey Uso is the hottest in the game right now for a reason, because he makes people care.
Do you think? So let me ask you this question. So with Seth's group,
he make them care too. If you not notice, on Monday they finally decided, like, no, we gotta do some Dashley shit, and we're gonna have to tsunami this man. Yes, go ahead.
So let me ask you this. So is his cousin that X factor in that whole situation? Because Punk, Sammy, and Jay are getting their asses whipped right now.
Yeah, because who's the muscle that's gonna counter Braun and Braun's son?
But if you make it even, like I was talking about last week, you have 4, right? It has to happen soon. So what happens when Big Cuz shows up? I wonder who that fourth person is on their end. I'm still talking about the fourth person, bro. Something ain't right with me. Something ain't sitting too well with my psyche.
So for this match, I think because I have no idea what Jay is gonna be doing. I don't have no idea what Jay's gonna be doing at SummerSlam. I have no idea what Logan Paul will be doing, Cody Rhodes or John Cena. Although if this leads to Cena Cody 2 at MetLife, then I guess. And that's basically you saying we're pulling the plug on this whole John Cena heel turn shit quickly.
Let John go again. Let John go. Let John go to the Rumble. Let John defend. Let John go all the way to Mania. Why not?
So I don't know who wins this. I don't necessarily see a logical outcome that makes sense for everybody.
I will say this.
Go
Jey
ahead.
Jey Uso wins. And I'm saying this for a reason.
Okay. Elaborate. Why does Jey Uso by himself?
I cannot disclose this information right now until we get to the other matches, sir. It's a process.
Okay. All right. So we will go ahead and get to the men's Money in the Bank match.
Thank you.
We'll get to the men's Money in the Bank match involving Solo Sikoa, LA Knight, Penta, Seth Rollins, Andrade, and El Grande Americano. I will have you know half of this match involves wrestlers of either Mexican descent or they cosplay Mexican, and I can't really get over it. And here's the thing. Penta, Andrade, and El Grande Americano are in that match strictly to do flippy, wild shit.
Off the ladder. You got to find somebody to jump off the ladder
Exactly.
and fuck themselves up.
Exactly. Now, if I had to do some quick math here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solo Sikoa's not winning this match.
So hold on. We got Solo Sikoa, Seth Rollins, El Grande Americano,
3,
Andrade,
4,
Penta. There's the sixth person is going to be
Lawrence Olivier Alexander Knight. Yes.
That's all 6. Okay,
that's all 6.
That just pretty much just throws everything off of me.
Does not for me. Now, had CM Punk won that Money in the Bank qualifier on Monday, I'd feel a lot better about
They not putting Phil near no damn ladders anytime soon. What are we doing? That man went into a Royal Rumble and came back hurt. That man went into another match and came back hurt. He had a cage match, and luckily he couldn't do the shit that he wanted to do and jump off the cage and some more shit, so he wasn't hurt. I'm not putting that man in no ladders. No. I knew who wasn't winning it, and it wasn't Phil. I love Phil. But brother, you got this. Your body's the same age as me. What are we doing? No.
So I thought it would have been Phil because that gives us Phil versus Cena in a stadium. Yeah. And then that didn't happen, right?
But that's what the Rumble in the Chamber for.
Yeah. Yeah, they still have business to attend to down the road, right? Solo's not winning this because there's still a Jacob Fatu situation waiting for him, right?
I think Jacob comes out that night, comes out on Saturday night to help, like he tried to help him.
Yeah, LA Knight.
Yeah,
I mean, if you need a face for this match, okay, LA Knight, yes. So, and Andrade's not winning this because.
So it sounds like unanimously we're going with Mr. Rollins.
It's either going to be Penta or Seth.
I don't see
Penta. As much as I love Penta, because that dude is over like Rover.
Isn't he wrestling at Worlds Collide too?
He is. He's pulling double duty, I think.
Good God, him and the Big American.
Yeah, him and the Big American, who is also in this match. We know is not winning this. No. Penta is not pulling double duty. No,
really.
Chad Gable is wink, wink, nudge, nudge, pulling double duty.
That man been doing his daggone CrossFit.
Yeah, I've literally, Chad Gable on Instagram is one of them. Like, okay, I get it, right? Yeah, this feels like it's Seth Rollins' briefcase to lose, man.
So I say this,
not even that he needs it, but it feels like his briefcase to lose.
I feel like he has the muscle to. I'm gonna look at the order of the match. I think the men gonna probably go first.
Mm-hmm.
If the men go first, I will confirm that Seth wins, and I think that Jay needs to main event Money in the Bank. It's only 4 matches. Jay will main event. Jay and Gunther. It's Gunther. The Money in the Bank. So yeah, this is reminding me so much of WrestleMania 20. No, WrestleMania was at 29.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's giving me because they can't beat Braun or Bronson's ace. Who the fuck gonna help him?
It's a good question. That's a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna happen.
So the women are the ones that's giving me a hard time. Like,
yeah.
I'm a little stuck.
So here we are, and I think, in all honesty, because there's more intrigue with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match than the men's, in which I think that the women should main event.
I'm with it.
You have Alexa Bliss, Roxanne Perez, Rhea Ripley, Julia, Naomi, and Raw's newest superstar, which kind of confirms something to us. Last week when we're like, what the hell is going on with the sudden title change on NXT? Because we're like, look, if don't do that, she's going up, right? So that's Stephanie back here. So who do you think needs this briefcase more than anybody else in this match?
So the process of elimination. Julia is still fairly new. Stephanie, she's got a rocket up her ass, but I don't think I feel like she and Julia on the same level to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa Bliss.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Shut up, Alexa. Nosy bitch. Damn. That was live on TV too, yeah.
Yeah, that was live on TV.
Yeah,
we're live,
Miss Bliss. We haven't seen what it looks like with the Y6 yet. So that leaves Roxanne, Naomi, and Rhea. I feel like Rhea needs it more. Roxanne would be the obvious one for me to propel her, especially as she moves through the Judgment Day. It'll actually put more funk on that storyline, because Liv don't fool with her, Raquel don't fool with her, Finn fuck with her, that type of situation. But
right.
I'm going to use this. I'm going to say the third member.
A WWE studio production. This is the braid of our lives.
Naomi.
I love it. I love it. Process of elimination, man.
Absolutely.
So Roxanne Perez is currently in a feud with the other two women in Judgment Day. And I think it would be a little bit ironic if Roxanne. It would be toxic if she won Money in the Bank and she could go get that title. But Liv could.
Same way. Liv. Exactly. They
So
said,
I think,
"Oh, she got money in the bank. She can win the title." Da 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 da. Whoop, whoop.
and
You
that would
you
lead.
know, watch Dom. Watch Dom. You
Mhm.
see what how Dom move.
Yeah, Dom stick with the winners. Dom stick with who got motion.
Yeah.
And just because Liv did Hollywood don't mean she got real motion. Okay.
But fact.
So
You see what I did with that?
yeah. All right. So Alexa Bliss, I think she has something more in tune with Charlotte right now, as opposed to like go put her straight towards Tiffany Stratton in the belt, right?
I think that's gonna be the segue to the Y6.
Okay. And that will be kind of dope just to kind of put Charlotte basically for Alexa to play mind games with Charlotte. Because again, Charlotte's entire persona is
thank you.
I'm better than you.
Yep.
And Alexa is like, oh no, you think you're better than me, but I can break you down mentally and show you have no idea. This is the diary of Ashley Flair. This is what it's about to be.
AKA fuck around and find out.
FAFL Records, yeah. So there's that. If I were to think Julia, a little too soon. A little too soon. Steady back here. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Right.
Plus, I think she got more valor. Like, I'm gonna win a briefcase and I'm gonna cash in on a wounded champion. Now, Steph be like, yo, you want to go up? Bet we can do that.
By all means.
So that leaves us with two names. That leaves us with Naomi and Rhea Ripley. And Rhea Ripley is in this match strictly for star power reasons.
Facts.
Because ain't no reason in the world the strongest woman in this match should be lording over two women's divisions waiting to strike.
She don't need a belt.
No. She's basically the champion without the belt. Yes. She's like, yeah, she's the champion without the belt. So my winner, my prediction for the women's Money in the Bank, Miss Proceed with Caution, aka 1/3 of the Braids of Our Lives trio. A WWE studio production. This is the Braid of Our Lives. Naomi. We are about to see a Proceed with Caution Money in the Bank briefcase.
I'm with it.
Do I think she immediately cashes in on Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown? Nah, I think Naomi waits until SummerSlam to cash that thing in and has her big moment in Jersey. That's what I think. Now, for the men's, as I said, Seth Rollins, June 9th, Monday Night Raw, after what happens with Gunther and Jay, that is when Seth Devontae Rollins, with his big SR, with his gold SR Cuban link, cashes in and takes that belt off Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And they run it back at SummerSlam in MetLife.
You think that late?
I think that late because you're not going to do not. I mean, you could do Night of Champions, but the money here is either you're going to get Cena Rhodes on one end, you're going to get Cena Rhodes 2 on one end, and the other, as much as it would have been dope to see Punk versus Jey Uso for that belt at MetLife, you know they're doing Punk versus Rollins for that belt.
I can see, yeah. Or Night of Champions. We know we got a certain wrestler on that roster who is very, very influential with that Islam connection. Sami Antoine Zayn.
Sami Antoine Zayn versus Seth Rollins for that belt is going to smack when it happens.
Yes.
But yeah, man. Yeah. That's Money in the Bank for us. Short and sweet, to the point. But earlier in the day, at the Kia Forum, aka I call it the Great Western Forum for all you old school Laker fans, old school NBA fans, we have When Worlds Collide, man, which is basically this year they are taking up from the classic 1994 WCW and AAA pay-per-view. It was at the LA Arena. And it's a 5-match card this go around. We got the Latino World Order, which is Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Joaquin Wild, who I hope is okay after his concussion situation Monday during a WWE speed taping, versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. You got Stephanie Vaquer, who is pulling double duty that day. Her and Lola Vice versus Chick Tormenta and Dalis. You have Ethan Page versus Javon Evans versus Laredo Kid versus Ray Phoenix in a fatal 4-way for the NXT North American Championship. You have Legado del Fantasma versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., aka the son of Dr. Wagner Jr., Pagano and Psycho Clown in a 6-man tag match. And the main event, El Hijo del Vikingo, basically Vikingo, versus Chad Gable for the AAA Mega Championship. Now, the card itself is doing the smack.
Hold on. Where the fuck you get that accent from?
I'm in the news, sir. I read.
I mean, you the enunciation that being Kingo, my man.
I mean,
because I cannot do that shit at all.
Yeah, Vikingo, man, Vikingo. So again, the card is in totality is going to slap. Like, you're going to see the next generation, the evolution, so to speak, of Lucha Libre on American television. And if you've seen Vikingo in AEW and you know what he can do, boy, them WWE cameras make wrestlers twinkle and glisten, right? It makes they shit like 10 times bigger than what it is, right? So you giving him and Chad Gable in a spotlight match in LA, on California Soul, with all them Mexican American wrestling fans, buddy. Expect the classic. Now,
they about to cook.
Oh no, the entire card is going to cook. Like, in terms of just in love of wrestling, is going to cook. Now, basically, this is built off of, as I said earlier, the AAA version of When Worlds Collide, which is mixed between AAA, the International Wrestling Council, the original IWC, and WCW. They held this November 6, 1994 in the LA Memorial Sports Arena. And basically, the match has classics on it, right? If I tell you who's on the card, you'd be like, all right, I might want to go check this out. The whole thing has not been posted on the WWE Network or on Peacock because of one person's involvement here, right? Basically, the card went like this, right? You had Mascarita Sangrita and Octagoncito versus Espericito and Jarito Estrada. Little 8-minute tag match. You had Frizera Guerrera, the father of Juventud Guerrera.
I need you to put that. I need you to put that role in Guerrera. I need you to put some respect. Put that respect on that man's name.
Frizera Guerrera, the father of the Juice, Juventud Guerrera.
The Juice.
Madonna's boyfriend, Louis Piccoli, in Psychosis, beating a 19-year-old Rey Mysterio Jr., Heavy Metal, and Latin Lover, right? There's also a match involving something is kind of crazy in that Tuco Scorpio, Tito Santana, and the Pegasus Kid, aka Chris Benoit, faced Jerry Estrada, La Parka, the chairman himself, La Parka, and Blue Panther, also in a 6-man tag match. And that's the reason why
the Pegasus
the whole thing has not been uploaded to the WWE Network. Why? Because of the Pegasus Kid.
I've seen motherfuckers do worse. Whatever.
My thing is, treat it the same way you treated the 2004 Royal Rumble or WrestleMania 20. Just don't put a bookmark on it to where you can immediately go get it. If you want to go see it, you got to go find it.
It's not hard. The man killed his wife and his kid. I'm
Yeah.
not condoning it, but at the same time, it is what it's history.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'll put
you
it
got
to
some,
you. But
but you got some. My bad, brother. But you got somebody. I got to preach real quick. But you got somebody who's owned the company and done some other fucked up shit. What are we doing?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't get me started. Don't get me started. You trying to protect people. Allow the world to see the Pegasus Kid, aka Chris Benoit. You hold back on the cripple crossface and just call it a crossface? Come on, man. We have other people in wrestling that have done so much more. It's called the dark side of wrestling. Look at Jimmy Snuka. And I'll let you continue.
Yeah, Dark Side of the Ring will tell you about all of that.
Yeah, that, yeah.
Various ways. Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
good.
I gotta
It's
make
not
it.
good.
I gotta make it make sense, man.
Yeah, this is true. We gotta make it make sense. But the matches I would tell everybody to go seek out. Do a little homework. It is Octagon versus El Hijo del Santo versus La Presa de Terra, which is, the terror team of Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero in a 2 out of 3 fall Lucha de Apuestas match. Lucha de Apuestas, mask versus hair. It's the most sacred match in all of Mexican wrestling, all Lucha Libre. Seek that match out, and then seek out the main event, which is Pedro Aguayo versus Conan in a steel cage match. The reason why I say those two matches themselves, Art Bar and Eddie Guerrero, arguably one of the greatest tag teams in the history of pro wrestling, for one, right? And arguably one of the most dastardly heels in all of Lucha Libre wrestling in 1994. They were literally fucking people up.
Eddie Guerrero is the greatest Hispanic and Lucha Libre heel of all time. And I wish anybody would tell me different.
So, the beauty about this, in this match alone, right? Again, you're basically got 2 Mexicans, 2 Technicos versus 2 Rudos, which is their version of heel versus face. And what they did in this match, mind you, in Lucha Libre 2 out of 3 falls, you got to pin both people.
Yep, sure do.
So for this tag match, like the chemistry, the moves, all of it is mind-blowing for 1994. And the physicality and the psychology throughout the match still stand up.
So ask me this. Out of all the matches, what do you think the best match is going to be from bell to bell?
Saturday? Saturday is going to be a toss-up between Vikingo versus Chad Gable. And oh boy, I would say probably the Latino World Order, their 6-man versus Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana. And that's not a slight. That's Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice. It's just that I know what Dragon Lee Unleashed and Joaquin Wilde Unleashed can do.
I feel like the match with Phantasmo, like that's gonna be a problem because a lot of people sleep on all 3 of them.
Yeah. Again, and this is somebody, if you've seen Lucha Underground and you remember Santos Escobar as King Cuerno,
man,
then
that man about to have a coming out party.
Exactly.
That man about to have a coming out. That's going to be the thing for me. We have not seen this man be him. I want to see that man be him.
Yeah. So we're getting the goods, but no, if you can, because I think the WWE Vault uploaded like the best of Worlds Collide today on their WWE Vault YouTube channel. Check out that tag match. And
subscribe to YouTube Premium too, so you don't have to ask.
Yeah, and definitely check out that steel cage match with Pedro Aguirre and Conan. Like top notch grabs there, man. Top notch grabs.
And if you don't know about Conan, listen, what y'all saw with Conan and the NWO, that's just the cusp of what he is.
That ain't
If you
Conan.
say-
Conan.
Yeah, Conan, Max Moon, and WWF. He didn't do too much but shoot fireworks up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But you had that. You seen him in the early years of WCW, AAA. Oh my God, Conan! Listen, no, Conan was different. Like there is no Rey Mysterio without Conan. There is no Juice without Conan. There's no La Parka without Conan. Do your homework, folks.
Exactly. Real quick, we got some news and notes. Booker T on his pod said his time is gonna come when it comes to them WWE releases. Like, he's a realist about it. Like it's going to happen. How exactly? I had a conversation the other day, and I think Booker T's standing in professional wrestling needs to be upheld the same way you would put about people on a Mount Rushmore for what Booker's done in ring and also in terms of elevating the next generation of pro wrestler. He deserves to be up there. So, and also, I think we said this last week. Booker T is partly responsible for getting Trick Williams over Femi over, and Stephanie Becker over. So, whether you like him or not, on that in terms of commentary, his mere presence and the knowledge he's imparted on people puts him a class above so many other people in the business. And when his time is his time, it's fine. But he might be a 3-time Hall of Famer by the time it's all said and done.
He's on Legends deal, right? Or he's on Legends deal and an announcer's deal. Is it twofold? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Wow. I wonder what TKO was going with these releases and what the alternative is, or trying to pour back into it looks like, because I think one particular situation that's kind of raised a light bulb for me is the fact that TKO runs the UFC, right? And UFC has a lot of things on their app as well as on ESPN Plus. Now, us as WWE folks, we subscribe to the WWE network to watch what is now called the PLEs, formerly known as the pay-per-views. And we paid our $9.99 to watch it. Now we pay our Peacock bill, which may be like $5, $10, whatever you pay for whatever you want, right? My question is, are we going back to paying for PLEs just like folks are paying for Adesanya fight with ESPN Plus? That's my concern, because wrestling is as big as what it is right now. Let's be clear on something. If you go to a AEW, you want to watch an AEW pay-per-view, you got to go on Amazon, pay your 50, 60, whatever dollars. Right. But with us, we just have to pay our monthly subscription with Netflix to watch Raw, and then Peacock to watch the documentaries, the library, and then the PLEs. So I'm just asking this question: what is TKO's end game in trying to turn? What do they want to turn WWE into? Because I don't know about you, but I've spent a lot of money on pay-per-views, and I'm not trying to do it again. So, your thoughts?
The WWE, for all intents and purposes, kind of revolutionized the streaming platform, right? It literally gave you a la carte. You have our entire library, which we spent years purchasing up other libraries just to get to this point, right?
Right.
Simultaneously, now that they're in bed with TKO, and TKO has various deals up at the end of the year. They're trying to renegotiate, figure it out. It's like you're asking yourselves, does TKO is their focus more so towards the entertainment aspects of wrestling, or are their full attention driven towards we have to make money?
Right.
Because they're not making record gates by doing, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of UFC pay-per-views. They're making record gates by the big four that WWE's bringing in. And it's a $21 billion company literally, I think their estimated net worth is 21 billion with a B. I think in all intents and purposes, you're looking at them slowly putting their tentacles in on pro wrestling and then making it a little bit more serious, a little bit more athletic based, like the fun and like the comedy and kind of the lightheartedness as we saw by these releases this past weekend. I feel like it's going away. I feel like we're now getting into a more serious, more, linear thought of what pro wrestling could be as opposed to what we grew up with. And I'm optimistic about it because, there's still smart people there. But at the same time, I don't think I'm going to go to that point of paying for a bunch of pay-per-views like we used to. And also, I fear that continually pricing people out for live events is going to cause another ripple effect that I don't think that they really need, right?
Okay.
But so those are my thoughts on that. That's a good question. That's a really, really good question.
It just made me think, bro. Like, we know what UFC is already. You know, they have their app, they have their YouTube, but then when you want to order a fight, you got to pay for ESPN Plus, but then you got to pay on top of that for the actual event. So what does that look like? And I'm hoping that the powers that be are not gullible to the point where they see the monetary and be like, okay, I can get rich. Let's charge these folks. Because let's be clear, we talked about this in the early episodes, and we talked about this after. WrestleMania was expensive as hell. The economy is crazy. And then that pretty much messes up the flights, the travel, hotels, all of that. But then when you go to WrestleMania, like, what does that look like? Like, you don't necessarily know what's what at this point. So imagine going to WrestleMania next year. We saw how it was this year with the prices. What is it going to look like next year? Because we only know that we know that TKO is going to probably put some stuff back in Vegas because that's where they had their UFC fights at.
Right.
That's their hub. So I'm trying to believe in your optimism, but we'll see. But to tap back into your news and notes, like, I do have my own news and notes. June 28th. Listen, Ashe. Listen, I want to be there. I'm gonna try to figure out a way to be there. the return of Cedric Alexander. Let's go.
Yes.
The card lit, bro. If you're in Charlotte, if you can get there, get there. Because me and B done been to 2 Ashe shows, and we have not been disappointed at all. At all. And the main event, Mr. Lockhart against DC, my favorite. No disrespect to Lockhart, but that's my man's. That's gonna be a hell of a show. Hey, please. If you can get there, get there. That's gonna be a dope ass show. Between Maya World, Kara Hogan, Yaya,
Faye Jackson.
Listen, that's gonna be a dope ass show.
Yeah. Tickets on sale now.
Right. Support them folks, man. Like, even if you gotta drive 2 hours, go. What else you doing?
Yeah.
Watch wrestling.
Yeah, watch wrestling. Also, salute to our boys Pan African. They're in Houston this past weekend for DreamCon.
DreamCon, yep.
By the way, for those who don't know what DreamCon is a festival thrown on by RDC World, and effectively it is a safe space, I would say, for Black creatives, like whether you do cosplay, content, streaming, all the above, right? So yes, there will be some intersectionality, right? You will have your Q dogs stomping, but they're also in full cosplay, right? You will have people who enjoy twerking and dancing, but they still in cosplay. Megan Thee Stallion pulled up. She's just revealed that she's gonna have her own anime sometime this year, right? And also there's graps, there was legit wrestling. And I think that for them to pull that off is spectacular. It is amazing. I'm glad people were very receptive to it. I'd say that we probably should have mentioned it last week during the show. But again, a lot went on, and that's what happens when you don't record. You record for you have a 9-day gap between recording. Like a lot of things happen. But no, shout out to them brothers, man. I can't wait to see what's next. I know they're probably gonna be back at DreamCon next year. I feel like there are gonna be more people who have wrestling events at DreamCon 2026. It's Houston. Things always going down in Houston.
I love Houston.
Yeah, man. Also, real quick, do you care that the Wyatt Six is basically bullying the SmackDown Tag Division?
Here's my problem. The profits are where I want them to be, but I don't need no hocus pocus shit. Like, no, what we doing? Like, why you gotta mess with Montez? Montez just celebrated his birthday. Wifey just bought him a rollie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we doing, man? Like, what y'all doing? Why y'all trying to mess up some stuff for that man? That man been cooking. But on the road to I feel like it should have been a Raw-based situation. My problem is you backloaded SmackDown with the tag teams, and that's cool. But I feel like the Wyatt Six and New Day would have been better. That's just me.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel.
Yeah. Also, somebody really put Flight Club's joint in WWE 2K25.
Really?
They put the whole setup from DreamCon in WWE 2K25.
Oh.
Yeah, shout out to Fight Club, man. Fight Club did that. They did that.
Listen, Andino, Chaz, listen. Rob, listen. Keep doing y'all, man. Hey, shout out to Fight Club because they're actually doing a show. They're actually doing a show the weekend before on the 21st. The 21st, that's Sunday. And I'm mad I can't go because I have kids and they need birthday parties.
Yeah, man. Just again, salute and shout out to Flight Club doing work, man. Shout out to Ashe doing work.
Hey man, shout out to all the hey, hold on, bro. Did you see Athena in My World?
Whole lot of Texas shit happening there, buddy. Whole lot of Texas shit.
Yeah, we need Maya World to come somewhere.
Yeah. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, she had a match that we saw in Vegas. I think you and I both say now we need a do-over to see Maya World really cook.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but we showed a lot of love, man. Showed a lot of love to Black indie wrestling all across the board. But Ice-T got to come knock in because we got some shit off our chest, man. So, Brother T, would you please come in the boardroom?
Hey.
That's right, man. It's time for Hater of the Week segment where me and D get some things off our chest. And it's Tuesday, so we only have about 4 days. 4 days
Yeah.
about what we had to get some off our chest, man. So D, you go first.
I went first last week.
Did you? You did.
Yeah.
You did. You
Yeah.
had a list.
I had a list.
You ran through everybody who
I had a list.
You ran through every team that voted against Bennett, that voted against the tush push. That's right.
Weak asses.
That's right. You did. So, man, my hater of the week? I will say that, you know what I'm saying, look, there's a Turkey Leg Hut documentary in pre-production right now. There've already been requests for me to appear in said documentary. I'm gonna say this now, man. I don't ask for much. I just, I just want to give full context and clarity to how we got to this point where somebody was selling quote unquote Renaissance fair food and threw some shrimp Alfredo on top of it, and it turned into one of the busiest, most popular locales in Houston, and then it all came torn asunder by bullshit.
Oh.
Again, and this is before we even talk about the indictments and alleged explosions of other establishments on the same street and allegedly selling weed out the Turkey Leg Hut. It's before we get to all that, right? It's before we get to that. I'm just letting it go ahead and just be like, yeah, it's a lot. So if for those who are doing the documentary, this is my call to you. I will pull up. I will sit down. I will tie my hair back. I'll put on my most professional and journalistic voice, even more professional than what I give here every week. I will sound.
Are you really professional here?
Halfway. I played on
okay.
TV.
I wanted you to own it.
I played on TV. I'll be Ed Bradley. I will be Ted Koppel. I'll be Peter Jennings. I'll be Tom Brokaw.
I just want you to be Stuart Scott.
I'll be Stuart Scott. I'll be Scott Van Pelt. I'll be Justin Tinsley. I'll be David Dennis. I will be all of that. I'll be Bomani Jones if need be. I'll be all of that just to lay it and make it understood how ridiculous the Turkey Leg Hut saga was, is, and forever will be. But it's not even a hater of the week, man. That's not a hater of the week. That is merely just an acknowledgement of things, man. My hater of the week is my lower back. It is my lower back and my neck. All right, so
my neck and my back.
So my lower back, it gives me pain, some troubles when I'm running. You know what I'm saying? I basically busted out 2.5 miles the last 2 days in a row. So, did 5 miles just to clear my head, get my thoughts together. Because again, up here in the Northeast, we got highs in the 70s. And then it's going to be 80 to 90 later on this week. So the back's fine, right? I just hate the fact that last week, and I said this on the pod, I fell asleep Monday night, last Monday. I woke up Tuesday morning. I sounded like Uncle Elroy from Next Friday talking about my neck. I could not move my neck to the right, couldn't move it to the left. I give you a 48-degree angle of how far I can go with my neck. This is what old age happens, right? 48 degrees. Not even 45. 40. I go a little bit over 45. I was pained. I just got back full range of motion on my neck. I know there's a big ass head too. I know it took a lot. But you know what? Getting older with random injuries happening to you, that is my hater of the week.
Wait till you get to 40, big dog.
God.
It gets worse. I can get my hater of the week now?
You can't.
So my hater of the week is Southwest Airlines. because as of May 28th, you have to pay for baggage. I have to be in Charlotte in August. And the problem is, when I looked on it, the whole app is something different now to book my flight. You know, they're trying to charge you for seating and this, that, and the other. My problem is this. Why you charge me for baggage? What'd I do to you? You went so long without charging people baggage. What is wrong with you? Why do you what? What you trying to do? You trying to make some extra money? Like, you're gonna be just like everybody. Why don't you be like Kendrick said? They not like us. What are we doing? Like, B, you've been on flights with me on Southwest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And have you had any issues?
I've had delays,
You had
but
to-
not in terms of like something I really have to like speak to a manager about.
But they would, if you did have a delay or any situation, they would make sure that you're comfortable for the next flight, right? I say all
Yeah.
that to say, I say all that to say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What are y'all doing? Really? And then I have a 0.5 hater of the week.
Mhm.
Triple H, my GOAT, Paul Levesque, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
I was keeping it away, but I know exactly.
Yeah, no.
I
I did that because that's my man. He's my favorite wrestler of all time, and I'm going to put that out there, bro. You don't let go of R-Truth. I don't care if the TKO, TOK, TikTok, any of that. You don't get rid of R-Truth. That man is a legend, and if you don't put that man in the Hall of Fame within the next 5 years, we're gonna have an issue. We're gonna have an issue. That man has been nothing but pure entertainment. And those of us who've been watching WWE before it was WWE and WWF, R-Truth is the WWE, is the E in WWE. He is the entertainment part of it. So don't take away from that. If you got to put him on a part-time contract, whatever. I don't care. But remember, and that's gonna be my stance. R-Truth is the E in WWE. Those are my haters of the week.
Oh, actually, no, I got one more hater of the week, man.
God damn, we fucking
thought
with
about
everybody this week.
I thought about this.
Yeah.
I thought about this. My additional hater of the week are the people behind the scenes who kept a whole Clips album away from us for an entire year.
They ass.
If you read the feature in GQ magazine on the Clips, written by the great incomparable Fraser Tharp, Pusha T got some things off his chest about Kanye, got some things off his chest about the lawsuit that Drake is forming against UMG.
Please send me that link.
I will send it to you. I will drop it into you. Pause. I know that sounded weird. It sounded weird. Sorry. I'll send it to you. And the fact that Stephen Victor and Pusha T and Jay-Z basically had to pay 7 figures to get Pusha T out his Def Jam deal. And Pusha T was like, all right, we'll just slide with Jay-Z to release this album.
Mm-hmm.
So they said this years ago, back 2020, when Pusha T had a track with Young Thug, and the label couldn't like clear to release it because they thought he was going at you know who. The reason why we didn't get Chains and Whips last year, or Whips and Chains, from this new Clips album, because the label thought it would look a little weird that you know who, his 2 biggest ops, linked up for a song, knowing full well that, hey, Pusha T's not going to tell somebody to go change a verse. And by the way, the verse has nothing to do with the beef. So my thing is, to borrow a phrase from you, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, the man got his ass whooped. That's all that happened.
Slaughtered.
The man got his ass
massacre.
The man, okay, you remember the scene where old buddy got jumped in Don't Be a Menace? And Marlon and Sean Lily was doing
they hopscotch
double
on that man's
hopscotch.
face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all that happened last year, man. That's all that happened last year. And the fact that we're doing this again, and basically this is how you get records blocked and all that, and how the Pop Smoke album even had its own little situation behind this. What part of the game is this? What part of the game is this?
Yeah. It's all about business. Everybody trying to get a buck. That's it.
July 11th, man. Let God sort them out. I'm about to put on Ace Trumpets right now as soon as we go off here, man. But yeah, that's this week's episode of 2DopeMarks. Had to drop a little hip hop in there before we close out, man. Next week, we'll be coming to you on Wednesday. We won't be coming to you Thursday at our usual time this week because, hey, NBA Finals and real life happened, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we'll be back next Wednesday, and then the following Thursday, which is June the 26th. No, sorry.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a Juneteenth episode.
All right, yes, we will have a Juneteenth spectacular.
Yeah.
The next Thursday you will see. We'll have a Juneteenth spectacular. Then we'll be back at it. Same bat hours. June 26th, and then are we having a pre-4th of July episode, D?
Man, fuck the 4th of July. Juneteenth, my holiday. So we're gonna do the holiday episode.
All right. Well, we'll let you know what happens for July 4th. But Juneteenth, we here. Again, follow us at 2DopeMarks on Instagram. Follow us at 2DopeMarks on Twitter. Join the Facebook group. Like, comment, subscribe, rate us, review us. I would hope we get 5 stars. If you get 4 stars, I think you Dave Meltzer or DJ Vlad. Cop the merch, man. Cop the merch. Links in our bio. It's getting hot, which mean them t-shirts and
buy that shit.
T-shirts and deodorant. We ain't selling branded deodorant yet, but wear your deodorant, rock them t-shirts. Gonna have to get a sweat rag this year because it's gonna be hot. I literally saw the I saw the hurricane season names in Texas this year. They look ass. By the way, you got spared this week, current director of FEMA, because you were also gonna be my hater of the week for being the only person in human existence who did not know that we had a goddamn hurricane season. It is your job to know we have a hurricane season.
Calm down, young fella. Calm down.
Sorry.
In the episode, man.
Sorry,
bro.
Sorry, man. D, for the sake of my blood pressure, say something nice to the people, man.
Shout out to my family, Shay, who is out the country for work. Be safe, baby.
That was sweet.
Relax, dog.
I was just saying it was sweet. What the? Wow. I just said it was sweet. This big friendship. My God. God dang.
Gosh.
Damn.
I want you to say that. No, say damn. Say fuck. I want you to say nigga one time.
Well, golly gee wee, but Thunder and 5, all right? Thunder and 5.
All right, we out. I'm gonna put you. Do your little outro, and we out.
Yeah. As I said previously, thank you for tuning in. Buy the merch, like, comment, subscribe. Join us next Wednesday. Comments, kicking it. Bring your J's, bring your drinks. Comment, laugh, have fun. Because and we out. And also, Thunder and 5. 6